In an interview with MCV, Matt Booty, the head of Xbox Game Studios, explained that the Xbox Series X will have no console exclusives for the first couple of years. Alright, welcome back to another video. I wasn't going to make a video on this because when I first read about this information, I didn't think it was anything extraordinary. I thought it was pretty normal, and I thought that most console generations have crossover games. But then I went on to social media, I went on to Twitter mainly, and I saw there was a big blow up amongst people who were mad or saying that the Xbox is finished now and the Series X is going to fail because they won't have console exclusives for the first couple of years. And it just blew my mind at the stupidity of that, so I decided I had to make a video. Now, Matt Booty, he is the head of Xbox Game Studios, and he had an interview with this website here, MCV, and he went over a bunch of stuff about the upcoming Xbox Series X and the plans of Xbox with their games and their exclusives. So firstly, in this first section called Generation X, he talks about the Xbox Series X games that are coming out and how there will be no specific Xbox Series X console exclusives for the first couple of years, and they will be cross-generation. So they will be coming out on the Xbox Series X, they will be coming out on the Xbox One, and they will be coming out on PC. Now this means all these games coming from those 15 first-party studios that Xbox has acquired will be coming out on a wide range of the consoles so that no matter what you have, you can play. However, he does say that games like Halo Infinite or other first-party games will be optimized on the Xbox Series X so you can really see the true power of the console. Now here's this quote with his reasoning behind it, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if I was the head of Xbox Game Studios, I would go down this line as well. But what he's saying is, as our content comes out over the next year, 2 years, all of our games, sort of like PC, will play up and down the family of devices. We want to make sure that if someone invests in Xbox between now and the Series X, that they feel that they made a good investment and that we're committed to them with content. Now, this was the thing on Twitter and on social media that got a lot of people either hating on Xbox or saying that it's going to fail now because of this. And it was lots of stupidity because it makes absolutely no sense to think that this is a bad thing. You think of all the generations of consoles that come out, every single time there are cross-generational games, because the exclusives or the games that come out right away at the launch of a console, there's usually not that many, and they usually aren't that great. So obviously they're going to be releasing those first-party games across all of their consoles, the Xbox One, the Series X, and then on Windows PC as well. The install base just won't be big enough for the Series X when it first comes out. And then you may be thinking that, well, only releasing the game on the Series X will help increase the install base, and that is again where I disagree with all of this. If you've been following Microsoft at all over the last couple of years, you can clearly see that their goal is to increase subscriptions to their services. They honestly, at the back of their minds, know that that's where the gaming industry is going, and the install base of the amount of consoles that they're going to sell really doesn't mean that much. They just want to get you to play within the Xbox ecosystem anywhere, no matter how you're playing it, whether that's on PC, whether that's on the Xbox One, or whether that is on the Xbox Series X, and then who knows what else that will be in the future with Project xCloud. So by releasing all of these first-party games across all of their platforms, it's going to increase the chance that whether you have an Xbox One or a PC and you don't have the Xbox Series X, you're going to sign up for Xbox Game Pass to be able to get access to them. But yes, I know a lot of people who are saying this is a bad move or that Microsoft and Xbox are crazy are just people who like to get involved in these console wars, which I think is completely ridiculous. But at the end of the day, this is not a surprising news. This is not something that we should be shocked that Xbox is doing. It just makes sense, especially for the business and the way that they're going. Now, this article, it goes into a lot more depth other than that, even though that's what a lot of people want to focus on, but there's actually a lot of good information about just how they're making games, about the different studios, the involvement of Matt Booty in these studios, and he talks about all that here, so I'm just gonna go over some of it. So in this next section here, really just talks about how well Sony has done with their exclusives and the release of their exclusives and the world building and characters that they have. But they really want to expand on that going forward. They know they have some great universes like the Halo universe, and they want to expand on that and make them more iconic, kind of like the Marvel series. Talks about wanting to release high quality first party exclusives and then just keeping those games and those exclusives over generations so that in 20 years from now, we're talking about the game that came out this year. He also talks about that they need to continue to deliver on their promises. So when they say a game is coming out, it comes out. It doesn't get delayed further. And a big reasoning for that is because they are planning on releasing first-party exclusives every 3 to 4 months. So if one game gets pushed back, so it'll make a lot of things messy because you're having multiple games coming out at the same time. That's to say, if the one ahead of it is also meeting its schedule. He also goes on to talk about the 15 studios they've acquired and whether they're going to be acquiring new studios. And right now, they're not really looking into acquiring new studios because they need to shift that focus of getting all that manpower, getting all those studios to now making the games and getting all those people who are working on the games feel secure being part of Xbox Studios. In terms of the creative process of those games, Matt Booty says that he likes to stay out of it all. Their jobs as executives is just to really make sure that these studios have the resources to be able to create their visions. These studios have multiple teams within them, but there is no crossover of personnel from one studio to the next. They only go to outside companies if they need more resources or if they need help. But within these studios, there's definitely multiple projects going on and multiple teams under different people, which pretty much means that there's more than one game being worked on at one time. Now, this last part to me is one of the most exciting and one of the best parts, I think, to this entire article, basically talking about Game Pass and how Game Pass can now really remove games as a service and take away that monetization, because when it's up on Game Pass, you're gonna get access to all of that stuff. So as we know, a lot of games have season passes, a lot of games have loot boxes, and a lot of games have DLC that you have to pay extra for. But with Game Pass, because they can put the entire game up there and their monetization of their service comes through the subscription to Game Pass, you won't really need to worry about that in the future. And that to me is something that is very, very exciting, because as a lot of people like myself really dislike the extra microtransactions, dislike loot boxes and all that kind of stuff. So you're able to take that out of the game and you're able to give all of the content of a game within Game Pass. I think that's going to be awesome for the industry. And it really just shows that this subscription-based model that is sort of like Netflix, even if you have everything digital, it probably is better for the consumer going forward. But yeah, this was a long interview. There was lots of good information in there. And a lot of people just focused on the lack of Xbox Series X console exclusives over the first 3 years, thinking that that was a bad thing, but it isn't a bad thing at all. No matter how you try to slice it or how you try to turn it, it is not a bad thing for Xbox or for Microsoft. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the lack of console exclusives or anything else I talked about in this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to this channel. I'll catch you in the next video.